If your tent guylines slip, loosen overnight, or are difficult to adjust, bad weather can turn a normal night into a stressful one. I've been testing the LiteOutdoors Guyline Tensioner Kit on several trips now, including windy conditions with gusts over 30 miles per hour. After switching to the system, my shelter stayed consistently tensioned throughout those winds, something my previous setup never managed. In this video, I'll show you how the system works, how easy it is to install, and whether it's actually worth replacing your current guylines. There's also one small detail in the setup that made a surprisingly big difference in bad weather. I'll show you that once we set up the lines. Let me show you the problem most guyline systems actually run into. The LiteOutdoors Kit is a very simple system. It includes 60 feet of 1.8mm cord, 10 strong plastic tensioners, a Dyneema core with a polyester sheath, and reflective strands for nighttime visibility. The entire setup weighs about 1.7 ounces, which keeps it well within the ultralight territory. There are also versions available with longer cord or additional tensioners. But the specs only tell part of the story. What actually matters is how well the tensioners grip the cord and maintain tension over time. That's where the system separates itself from what I used before. The difference between those two systems became obvious after a few trips. Before switching to the setup, I used a very thin Dyneema cord. On paper, it looked great, extremely light and extremely strong. But in practice, it created two problems. First, the tensioners I tried never gripped the cord reliably, which meant I had to rely on knots to keep the shelter tight. Second, the cord was difficult to see around camp, especially at night. That might sound minor, but it meant constantly tripping over guylines. With this system, both of those issues disappeared. One concern people often have with guyline kits is installation. If it's complicated, most people simply keep using the lines that came with their shelter. Fortunately, this setup is straightforward. You create a short loop and a longer line. The short line stays attached to the shelter with the tensioner. The long line runs through the tensioner and anchors to your stake. Once everything is in place, tightening the shelter takes only a quick pull on the line. And if you need to loosen the line, you simply lift the tab on the tensioner. That small adjustment system made the biggest difference in windy conditions, because it lets you quickly restore tension when gusts shift or the fabric stretches. If you want a simple reference for guyline setup angles and tensioning, I put together a free short guide you can download below. The real test for guylines is how they behave outside. When you camp in exposed terrain, small reliability issues can quickly become big problems. I've used these guyline on several trips, including conditions with sustained winds of around 25 miles per hour and gusts over 30. Over multiple days, the lines held tension consistently without needing constant adjustment. Another improvement is visibility. The cord is bright during the day, and the reflective strands make it much easier to see with a headlamp at night. That alone eliminated most of the tripping hazards I had with my previous setup. Pros. It's a lightweight system. It has a strong Dyneema core. It's reflective and easy to see at night. The tensioners grip the cord reliably. You can make fast adjustments without knots. Cons. It's slightly heavier than minimalistic Dyneema-only cord setups. The initial installation requires cutting and preparing the lines. For most people, those trade-offs are minor compared to the convenience and reliability. This system makes a lot of sense if you want a reliable tensioning system, camp in windy or exposed environments, or prefer quick adjustments instead of tying tension knots. They're especially useful for shelters where precise tension matters, like trekking pole tents. If you prefer a very minimalistic setup and are comfortable managing tension entirely with knots, a simple Dyneema cord may be enough. That approach saves a little weight, but it also sacrifices convenience and ease of adjustment. So this is my final verdict. For my setup, these Guylines have been a clear upgrade. They hold tension reliably, adjust quickly, and are far easier to manage around camp. And like you saw earlier, once the shelter is properly tensioned, it stays that way. If you want to take a look at the different versions of this kit, including the longer cord options, I've linked them below so you can compare them easily. If you haven't seen the trip yet, where these Guylines really came in handy in stormy conditions, I'll link it down below. Take care, my friends, and I see you in the next one.